Hello, welcome to Laura's Painted Minis. I am Laura, and we are going to get started on a new mini today. It's a miniature from Dungeons and Lasers. This was specifically like a part of a sample pack for their Deuce Layer campaign that they did. So yeah, kind of got like a Warthog style going. I don't know what it is called in their world. But anyway, I'm gonna go kind of do something interesting. So I've got this dark brown, dark reddish brown. So it's the rogue shadow. And then I've got succubus kiss. And then this is a mixture of that plus some morning glory is what it's called. I don't know if you'll be able to get it because that 2 usually means limited run when they've got a 2 in the front. And I think I had just gotten it as an extra. And then rosy skin is also used. This would be a mixture of morning glory and rosy skin, and then just rosy skin. So we're gonna play around, see how it looks after I layer up with some of these. Also have to determine what is skin and what is kind of armor. I haven't thought at all about anything, what colors I'll do anywhere else. I was just kind of mainly thinking that'd be really interesting, I think, to have sort of a purplish color in the shadows. I might end up adding a bit more of a stronger brown color later. We'll see how this turns out and if I like it as is, or maybe I'll tweak it. Let's see, we got the snout here showing. How was everyone's weekend? A little bit there. Some of these areas are not as clear as to what is what. It's actually a pretty decent amount of armor on this guy. But I might, I'm gonna try and kind of like, not necessarily go use all advanced techniques on this. Just because for one thing, I need to practice actually, like if I'm gonna get commissions and any are only willing to pay with like the lower level of paint job, and I need to be prepared to only put that much work into the paint job. So I need to start trying to do that. So look at the skin. I'll still probably do what I normally would do, layering up and whatnot with the skin and stuff, especially since I'm choosing to do something kind of a little more complex, different. Then I might just kind of do some simplified things elsewhere, so to speak. How I have it described is basically like doing a base coat, lining, and then like one highlight. So what I do on the skin here will be more than that. I had a pretty decent birthday weekend. There's a couple snafus, but overall it's pretty fun. Got some fun gifts. Uh, some gifts for my garden. So I got some actual plants. My dad helped me kind of figure out a better plan for one specific spot that just wasn't sure on what to put there. So I was gonna just get some like ground cover, basically, type of plant, which still like has flowers, but it's very, very, very short. In case you don't know what any of that means. So that's exciting. It is a little bit like a kind of a sensitive plant though. So if I prune it wrong, my understanding is the whole plant will die. So we'll see. The place, the nursery we got it from, gave me some instructions. So as long as it was correctly labeled as far as which pruning technique to use, hopefully that won't be an issue. I really like how this is turning out. I wasn't really meaning to go to like the pink route, but kind of like it. Like I said earlier, it was kind of just had sort of an idea and thought that like these three colors would work to get something like what my idea was, just basically just having purplish undertones. It's kind of the main thing. Either this was just like a bad print here on the leg, or it's meant to actually be pants. But I'm gonna have him go without pants. I think it might be just a bad print, because this side definitely looks like it's just bare skin. I also got the deck of Boons and Banes that Jenny D put out. I think she meant it to kind of be more like use like the deck of many things, where like it'd be the whole deck being the artifact that a player would find. But I would probably use it more of like just to help add to the story if there's like a really big success, and maybe other roles involved in that success are not, like making it kind of less awesome. Or like they mess up on something, have like an epic failure, and I don't mean like they rolled a 1, but like something maybe uncharacteristic about, like, for them to fail at, maybe. I don't know. Still thinking about it, of how I would use it. It's gonna be something I think that I don't want to like rely on too much. Some of them are definitely very OP. As far as the boons, and then also the banes, some of those can be depending on the character and what's going on, could be really debilitating. But there's some things in there of like scaling it down too for levels under 10, basically. So that's nice. We have that. It's not something I'm going to use in the very first session of the campaign. That's what inspiration will be mainly for. If they play into their any flaws of their character well, even though it is not advantageous to do so. Certainly will be giving them like an inspiration token for that. But when I was looking at that deck of boons and banes, it was reminding me a little bit of like the fate dice that is in High Rollers now with their newer campaign. I only just started watching it like a couple weeks ago. I think it's only been a couple weeks. So there's something of that, but maybe I could use the deck similarly. But I don't know. It doesn't work like it wouldn't necessarily provide exactly the same circumstances as like what the fate dice and High Rollers does. Ooh, I just had a thought. Like maybe what I could do is with the inspiration tokens. Is they can use them instead of getting advantage on whatever roll they use it on. They can turn them in to draw from the deck. Now, obviously, unlike with Mark's fate dice, where he then, once they use it, it goes into his pool and he can then use it for whatever, whether it be to help them or to help a creature. I would not be getting inspiration tokens. So in that regards, I think if I do that route, then I probably will shuffle the boon and banes together. So there's sort of that risk of maybe they'll get something cool and helpful, but maybe they won't. Maybe they'll get something that'll be actually make things harder. There's some of those veins in there that for my specific party, I don't think is really going to be too much of a bane. Like it's like there's one that's like called arcane allergy, where you're basically allergic to magic, which is funny. It's kind of a funny one, I think. I forgot to. Forgot to paint the hand over here and whatnot. With that previous color, come back with that. I kind of, I'm thinking about that. I kind of like that idea. And I think it'll help to. There's really only one player that has really strong backstory that like I can see like, okay, cool, that gives me some ideas of some more character specific quests that I could do or add in and tie into the story, the overall story I've got going in my mind. But yeah, some those banes, if they get banes, could help create some other interesting side quests. Something I have to think on some more. Because it does mean that maybe we'd end up getting too many boons. Or the possibility of having inspiration tokens and boons out in play. Maybe that'd be too much for them to have that. It might just be where I just wait till a certain level before I start making that like a thing. Because there's the nice thing about those lower levels is it kind of gives you a chance to make it easy, like as the DM, to have encounters that they can succeed also like experience kind of that scary feeling of barely succeeded. When you get higher, that gets a lot harder. Although I feel like Mark Holmes does a really good job like tweaking monsters to so that they are still difficult. Maybe I'll do some like darker armor on this guy. Does look kind of cool right now, the contrast we've got between the skin and his armor. Let's think through that a bit. Because there is some hair here, and I feel like usually hair on warthogs is like black or a really dark brown. Then it's right up against that armor. So let's see. Let's think about that. I mean, either way, I'll need to think about what the next color is or anything that's going to be like an actual color as opposed to like a neutral. Since I have the skin being not like it's not a neutral color, it's very much like a purplish pink skin we got going on. This is that rosy skin color now. Hey there, Valandar. Just trying to clean up some of these shadow areas. Then I'll probably do a glaze all over the skin just to do any blending here and there. Trying to decide if I'm going to leave it this pink and just kind of do one of a glaze with one of the mixes to help blend it all, or if I'll do like a light brown glaze. We have I do have shield brown out on the table, which is some of the photos I was looking up of warthogs and boars. It's a pretty normal color as far as this brown goes anyway for some. Depends what species. Can barely hear me, huh? Let me double check my settings. Mic. Okay. Well, I think my settings are still normal where they're normally at. I do have kind of a soft voice. So yeah, you can kind of, if I can get the glare gone, there. Kind of see a little bit. I put a little bit here, just tints it a little bit. I think I'm gonna go with that. I had a little bit of one of the other mixes into the shield brown, so that's not just straight shield brown. I'm also pretty tired from this weekend's festivities. It was fun, but just tiring with all the change in routine and stuff. And plus going out to, and just going out to eat in general more than what we normally would. At times we normally don't go out to eat. So yeah, it was lots of loud places and lots of change in routine. Okay, I feel like that is a good start on the skin. I think it could be finessed quite a bit more. But I like how it's going. Keep working on it. So, yeah. Thursday, I will be back. I have gone back to the dragon. I did not forget about him. This particular one just needs the gems done and then the claws. Whoops. So we'll see. And then I have one more leg I have to paint up as well. And then all the legs will be done on the dragon, which would be great. If I get those done before my first session, maybe I'll get started on the body of the dragon. We'll see. I mean, once that session gets done, then I'll have an idea of where we're going next and if I need to be working on some other minis before I keep going with the dragon. Yeah, I think that's just because Like I said, I have a soft voice and I'm kind of tired, so I'm not putting enough oomph to speak clearly and loudly. So that's just part of my life sometimes. Let's see. There are all the socials if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing in between streams. I also got like a panel on my YouTube. So yeah, we got skin done. Well, almost done. We're at a point where we just need to kind of do some finessing on some areas, bring up some highlights a tiny bit more in others. But yeah, I think it's got a good start. So I will see y'all Thursday at the same time, 1:15 p.m. Central. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.